Okay, so for the last video, we showed how to quickly get started with working with the Wiki system. This video, we're going to do a real quick explanation of the different parts of the JSON pages and how they sort of function. Now, every page is generated with JSON data. This was chosen as it's an independent format that is not directly related to HTML or any programming language in particular. For those who are familiar, it is of course meant originally for JavaScript, but that's not what we're using it for. We picked JSON data because we want to show these Wiki pages both on a website, on a phone that is not using a website system, and on an in-game book inside of the game. So you have three different systems that need to have somewhat of a standardized format that is not HTML driven, even though we could have used HTML, we could have used multiple other things, but this is pretty convenient, easy to read and write, and of course there will be an editor to utilize this through, so at this point you wouldn't even need to know how to use all this stuff. Now every page must have a page name and must have a type. If the type is missing, it may decide to not implement your page correctly and may not load it correctly. So the page name is what it actually is going to get displayed. It may also be used for the actual save file as well for the links, but usually the JSON name file is used most often time. These is overridable. There is a key to override that. You can go look on to the how-to page on the Wiki software for particulars. Replace keys. These are used when referencing information inside of a page. So for example, if you were talking about the ICBM mod from say the Power and Wires mod, or from say like a page about Buildcraft or something, you could inside that page put a key noting what you're talking about, replace key wise, and what will happen is when the page is being built, it'll go through and it'll go, okay, I have a replace key for ICBM, and it will put the word ICBM in there, and it'll put a link to this page we're staring at right now. That way you can click and go like, what is the ICBM mod? And now you're right on that page. When it comes to content, this is actually what is displayed to the user when they open up the page. H tags or headers. Headers can be as simple as just putting a name here, but you can also define using an object data the size of the header, the stylization, a few other details about it. Of course, these are paragraphs. They're pretty simplistic. They do also have the option of changing font size and a few other things. Most of the time, font is going to be controlled by the application displaying it, so even if you put some settings to change the font, you may not always get that option available, especially for the in-game Wiki book, as it is designed to display as much information on page as possible, so it's not going to give you as much control. There will be some fine-tuning available for all three different systems, so you can control how stuff is displayed and make it look a little better. Of course, we also have another tag down here, and we have video tag, as we noted in the last video. This isn't implemented yet. It will be implemented. You will have support for videos from multiple different systems. By default, we are going to be using YouTube framework for most of our videos. Moving on to show a little bit of other thing here, let me go ahead and open up the Wiki folder here a bit more. So we've got more pages in here, and right now we're looking at the index page from the last system, but we do have some more detailed pages available. There's tons of pages. Folder structure, by the way, does not matter in here unless it is determined by default. What you can actually do to determine what the folder structure is out here in the settings.json. It defines everything about how the Wiki is put together and assembled. It will define where the images are stored at, where the pages are stored at, what theme we're using. Right now we're using the default Wiki theme. This will be downloaded separately. As you notice, it's not actually in here. It is downloaded by our building software and then utilized. It also contains some variables here, like where are we going to store the output paths. So this tells it we're going to be stored inside pages, ICBM Wiki, so that way our links still continue to work. The title of the Wiki is going to be ICBM Wiki. The subtitle, which will tell you, goes right below the title, will just say Minecraft Missile Mods. Those familiar with the old Wiki, this is exactly how it was put together. It'll also get a GitHub link to the existing Wiki. If we actually click this, it will actually open. And we can actually get to the Wiki. This is actually stored into the header of every single page built. That way you know where the data came from. And here's our categories. So our categories actually are defined here. It'll tell us what the page is. That is the main category page. So if you click the category title, go, hey, this is these are missiles, and it'll tell you all about the missiles, what they are, how they work, and then it'll give you all the subcategories for them. And we also have an index control here, so we know how things sort inside of the tab, so it looks a lot better, and it gives you manual control. We also have subcategories. These subcategories will show up underneath the main category. So in this case, we have explosives, and then we have a subcategory for projectile, joke, magic, utility, destruction. We have parts, and then we have subpages for the parts available right here, and these will show up inside of this. and that defines all that data. Now, if we go back in here, we also have more stuff available in here. So we go back into the pages. It's going to be hit or miss whether or not all these are filled in. Most of these are pretty empty. After all, we got to replace keys. You can see we also have a category available. This will tell us what category that page was. And in this case, we have it told to of type ignore. That way it doesn't actually get put to the actual page. This is because some of these data structures are completely empty, so we have them by default set as ignored. You go in here, yeah, it's pretty much consistently the same for quite a few pages because the wiki is really far from being completed. We might get a little bit better luck with some of these pages. Yeah, these are all empty most likely. Let's see. More than likely, some of the launchers actually have some data in here. Nope. And let us grab the tools. More than likely do. Yeah, here we go. So we got a more complete page here. Of course, we got the replace key as I noted before. This will actually replace stuff in here. And here you can see a replace key actually being used. So to go link, and it will tell you what you're linking to. You're linking to the launch controller, and you're linking to the launchers right here. These will be replaced in page, showing a normal link like you would expect from a wiki, and you click that and it'll take you to the page. Of course, we have a few different more tags in here and various other things. And here we go. Here's our category. To get the page to display under a category, you have to determine the category. And of course, the type is content. This tells it that it needs to have a footer at the bottom that shows you all of your categories, so that way you can quickly jump between them and everything. There's different types for everything. There are some index pages, so index page actually will have all of the list of content from a page. And of course, that's not the same as this index page. This is a home page is what this is actually called, and various other things. But that's pretty much it. It's not too hard to work on these. You just have to fill in content. You have to make sure you put as many replace keys as possible. By default, you always want a replace key with the name of the content. So data chip, data chip. Some of these other ones do have more replace keys. For example, missiles more than likely has a whole bunch. Oh no, we just got one for that. Here we go. We get some more in. Oh, we don't have more in here, but we have a bigger detailed page here. We got some list tags available, so you can do different lists. It'll tell you you can define your type, your elements. Here we got more tags, which is linking ICBM Classic. So you can do cross wiki page completion. This only works in two cases. Either you have a list of data pre-available of link keys being loaded into the builder, or you're building the wikis at the same time. In our case, we're going to be building the wikis at the same time, so it's not going to be a problem. You've got tons of links in here available. Now there will be a availability to do cross mod linking. So, and not just cross web page linking. So you can link to the Minecraft page, you can link to BuiltCraft Wiki, the FTB Wiki, back and forth. So you can get really nice detailed page data. It is said though, we want to try to keep as much data into the main site as possible. If needed, we can create wikis for other mods that are not our own. We already plan to do a built-in wiki for the Minecraft data, although what it's going to end up being is going to direct you towards the Minecraft wiki when available. And that's pretty much it. So tutorial 2 done.